Okay, so we're back. Next, I'm going to take the game we've already got done, and I'm going to make some modifications to it so that we can see a background of some sort. So I'm going to look for my old game. If I type ls, I can list the contents of this directory, and I have tutorial game here. That's the one I saved from the last lesson. So I'll say load tutorial game. Now I don't have to type the whole thing. If I've got part of it typed, I can press tab to tab complete and get the full name from the directory, and then I can press enter. Now that it's loaded, we can check that the code's there and we can run it again. So this is where we left off. So right now it's just a black background. There's nothing happening there. So we can add a few things in the draw function to make that happen. So I could start writing code right here in the draw function, but it's going to get very messy and confusing the more things I put there. So I would like to, instead of clearing the screen, draw the background, but we should have our own private function for that. So let's make a new function. I'll make it right here. I'm going to call it function draw background. And I'm going to have open and close brackets because there's no arguments to it yet. We'll learn about that later. So draw background doesn't start with an underscore the way the other functions do, because draw background is our own function. It's not one of the functions that come with Pico 8, not one of the three main functions. So we're adding our own, and we add our own. We don't need to have an underscore at the beginning of it. So draw background is going to do something to put some more pixels on the screen before we draw our character, and it should be called down here. So I'm going to put draw background in the draw function, and that will make sure that the draw background function gets ran every time during draw. Now right now it doesn't do anything. In fact, my CLS is gone, so we're back to making trails because we're not clearing the screen during each draw function. Instead, let's do a RECTFILL. This command makes a big rectangle with filled in colors. We're going to start at 0, 0 and go 128, 128. That should fill the whole thing. And let's pick a color. So the color needs a number. This is 0, this is 1, 2, 3, and so on all the way up to 15. So a good sky color is this one. So what number is this? If this is 15, this must be 13, this must be 12, and this must be 11. So let's go put an 11 here. And this command is going to make a filled rectangle of sky color with its top corner of 0, 0 and its bottom corner of 128, 128 with color 11. That should be the whole screen. Let's have a look. Okay, I got the color wrong, but I must have counted wrong. So let's see, that's bright green. So this must be 11, that must be 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I miscounted, so that must be 12. So let's go back to our code and change it to 12. And now we have a blue background. Of course, one of our characters is blue. We can't see him at all anymore. Let's change that character. Let's make him this color blue. I can use my paint fill to fill him in. There, he's back. Okay, so that's our draw background function. And now that it's in its own function, we can trust it to always be called in the draw function, and we can start changing this function to whatever we want later. So I think that it's not very exciting to just have a solid color. It'd be nice to have a bit of a tile map, which eventually we can turn it into walls that a player will interact with. So let's quickly draw a little simple brick here. So let's make it purple, and we'll put a little border on it. And it'll be light colored up here. I guess it'll be like that. There we go, simple block. Now I can click on my map function to draw stuff to the map data. And now I can hold shift and scroll around the map. We're going to start in the top left corner because that's where the camera is right now at 0, 0. So if I make stuff here, we'll start seeing it if I set it up right. So let's just make a little bit of a stage here. It's just a test right now, so if I right click, or in the case of the pocket shift, you'd have to tap down here to select it. But on a computer, you could right click and pick something from the background. There we go. So this is a simple level. Can't see much right now. If we press up here and this button up here in the top left, we can see a bigger amount, but you still can't see everything because of the borders. So now that that's in the map data, we won't see that right away if we run. We still are just going to see the empty blue. So in our draw background function, after the RECTFILL, we should draw some of the map. So if we go map, I believe the width of it is 0, 0 to, I guess we'll do the full size map. Let's just go to 64 and 64 and see what happens. So the first numbers are where the top right corner of the section of the map is going to be drawn, and then the size of the map. So I'm not sure about this function. Let's see what it does. Okay, so I got the numbers backwards. We have half the map here. So I said that I would draw it at 64, 64. So I mean to draw it at 0, 0. And the first two numbers are the index of the map we're going to draw. So if we draw the whole map from the corner, we will have 0, 0, 0, 0. And we'll draw it at 0, 0, 0, 0 on the screen. So this is a bit confusing. This 0, 0, first 0, 0, means tile 0, 0. Now if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, you can see which tile we've got selected. X0 and Y0. And as I move over, we can see that this is X0 and Y0. This is X1 and Y0 still. And this is X2, Y0. If we go down, we went down by 2, so now we're at Y2. So we're over 2, down 2, so that's X2 and Y2. So going from left to right is higher X values. Going from top to bottom is higher Y values. And with those two coordinates, we can point to any space on the map. So we're drawing starting from 0, 0. But what's confusing is we're not just talking about tiles, we're also talking about pixels. I wanted to draw the map starting from the top corner, but I accidentally drew it starting from the middle of the screen, 64, 64. That's why the top corner of the map is in the middle of the screen. So I've got two zeros describing what tiles I'm drawing from what tile, and I've got two zeros describing what pixel I start drawing on. So now that they're all 0, we should get this. There we go. So now we have a proper background for our game. It's pretty simple so far, but it's going to get more advanced as we go.